Hi, this is a video I've decided to make regarding making small repairs to textured ceilings in the garage. I had a small piece that was about 2.5 feet square or so on the ceiling of my garage. It was caused there originally because of some moisture that got on the ceiling through the roof, and since that time the roof's been repaired and the moisture is out of there and all that type of thing. So I've decided to do a small repair on that popcorn ceiling area. At this point, I decided to take a putty knife and start chipping away at a lot of this loose material around the edges and to try to clean it up a little bit. Here's a view of the finished product after the chipping was done, and I've sort of feathered away some of the dried popcorn ceiling. After all the chipping was done, I decided to get some 120 grit sandpaper and put it on a sanding block, as you can see here, and start finishing up the job and roughening up the ceiling. Here's a view of the sanding block with the sandpaper installed. This roughening process is necessary because you want to make sure that the popcorn ceiling material is going to stick to the ceiling and not fall off after just a short period of time, so you have to roughen up the ceiling. I bought some Kiehl's original primer, sealer, and stain blocker. This is something that's good to put on the bottom part of the ceiling before you put the popcorn spray up there. It seals against any sort of mildew or material like that could eventually cause the popcorn ceiling to fall over time. After I applied that Kiehl's original spray to the bottom part of the ceiling, the results look like this. Originally, I was going to be using a small quart bucket of popcorn ceiling material. But the thing is, I couldn't find it at the time at Lowe's Building Material. They only had larger containers of popcorn ceiling for like 250 square feet or 600 square feet. So all they had for small jobs was something like this, a Homex ceiling texture material. And it turns out this is a pretty good buy after all, even though it actually is like $18 for a can that covers about 8 square feet. But the thing that I found out about this after I used it is the fact that it sprays pretty evenly. It doesn't come out with all that much force, so that it doesn't knock the existing dry popcorn ceiling down as you apply it. Because I bought some previous cans of different kinds of material, kind of similar to this, and a lot of times you'd have more popcorn falling than you could even put on the ceiling. So the design for this seemed to be pretty well. It has two spouts at the top that the spray comes through and an easy gray trigger that allows you to control the spraying mechanism. Here's a view of the top. I've already used this can, so I'm showing you this picture after the job was done, but there's a small little switch that you turn counterclockwise a quarter turn, which I've done here, a little red switch, and there's two little holes at the top that the popcorn ceiling material flows through, and the gray trigger in the front that allows you to control the spray. When I used the spray can, I found that getting down about 30 inches from the ceiling level is about the best place to release the spray. So it says, I think, on the can between like 20 to 30 inches from the target area is where you should place the can. So I was down at about 30 to 36 inches when I was holding my hand out and spraying it up to the ceiling. And the finished product looks like this. Now, one thing I'd recommend is, of course, put on a lot of old clothes when you do this because the spray can get all over you, although it's pretty easy to clean up off of my skin. A little bit of soap and water is all that took. But I'd recommend eye protection as well. As far as cleanup off the floor is concerned, since this was a concrete floor in the garage, when the material hits the concrete, it kind of sticks and gets hard within a couple of minutes. So what I did is I took a little bit of um, Mr. Clean liquid detergent, and I took a hose in there, and I had a hard bristle scrub brush with a long handle, and I was able to scrub it up within a couple of minutes off the garage floor. Otherwise, if you're doing this on the inside of the house, I definitely would recommend putting down a drop cloth, because you don't want that kind of hardened material getting down on carpeting or furniture or anything like that. So all in all, this turned out to be a pretty good job. Like I said, I had originally intended to use one of those bucket patching jobs that have popcorn material in it that would cover a couple of square feet. But since I couldn't find it, I decided to use one of these aerosol cans instead, even though in the past they hadn't worked out that well. But this particular brand seems to have a lot going for it. So that's why I decided to make this video.